I want to help you see the difference between training and develop skills because those two are very different. For the groomer owners, you may have trained someone and they know how the groom should look when they're finished and the style they're aiming for. And they probably know the difference between, let's say, a clean foot and a round foot, or the difference between a puppy cut and an outline trim. But knowing what it looks like isn't the same as safe, effective, and efficient. For the non-groomer salon operators, a trainee could have watched all the videos and passed all the modules through, let's say, an online training program, and even gotten a certificate of completion. But that doesn't automatically mean that they're ready to produce work consistently either. And this can be true for graduates of brick and mortar grooming schools also. Somebody could have completed the hands-on program. They've worked on dogs. They've learned the basic steps of grooming. But that's not the same as being ready for the pace, pressure, client expectations, coat conditions, behavior challenges, and the scheduling demands of a working salon. I call this work ready. And that's what I want to talk about today. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe that online training and brick and mortar schools are useful. They organize the information. They introduce safety, explain coat types. The learners start to understand the terminology, and it gives structure to what a person is learning. And that has value. But it's not the only information that they need to be work ready. Now, we all know that grooming is a physical skill. It's timing and body mechanics, hand placement, and tool handling. And then there's handling the pets and making those judgment calls. And it's all done in a rhythm. Those are the pieces that require hands-on correction and repetition. Our learners can understand what a clean foot's supposed to look like, but still not know how to move through it efficiently. They understand how to do the sanitary trim, but might not have the pet's body mechanics down pat enough to safely perform the procedure again and again. They know what their shears are for, but they might even just hold them in a way that's going to destroy their wrist and also make it difficult to create a smooth finish. So they probably know the steps of the grooming, but they might even lose valuable time because they don't know how to move through the grooming process in an efficient order. And these things matter because when the business is paying for grooming labor, it's not just paying for someone to know grooming words. It's paying for productive salon work. And if that worker has only been exposed to training, but not actually developed through training, the business will feel it in time, revenue, and payroll. Dissatisfied clients and groomings that might have to be redone. Those, of course, usually lead to fewer referrals. A lot of times you'll see this in a full schedule without the business being able to get ahead. And this is where some salon operators can really get stuck. The program has been purchased, the trainee's been hired, or maybe a current employee has been promised the title after completion. The calendar starts filling with appointments and the trainee is working. So from the outside, it looks like the training problem has been solved, but not quite. A training program can give structure. It may include videos, assignments, testing, photo submissions, or even some instructor feedback. Those pieces are still valuable, but the program is still not standing in your salon watching how that person moves through the work. It's not correcting their hands in real time. It's not watching their body mechanics through a full groom. It doesn't see where they're losing time, where they hesitate, how they handle pressure, or whether they can even repeat the same quality safely on the next dog and the next dog and the next dog. A program helps evaluate parts of the learning. The salon still has to evaluate workplace readiness. If you're a salon operator who hasn't had to judge grooming pace before, it can be really frustrating because the employee is working, the dogs are getting done, and the schedule's full. But without a clear way to measure skill, pace, and support needs, it's hard to know whether the salon is actually building capacity or just staying busy. And this is where a salon really starts paying for that missing middle. Again, the program's complete, the employee has the title, the schedule starts filling with appointments, and the dogs are getting done. From the outside, it should look like the training problem's been solved. But if workplace readiness was never clearly measured, that employee could be stepping into production before the hands-on skill is fully developed. This is where pressure starts for the employee first. They can finish a dog, but it won't feel smooth yet. They usually are stopping more than they expected, probably to second guess their decisions. So they end up taking longer than they thought they would. And then that gets the dog tired, restless, and frustrated. And this is where the day starts getting away from them. A conscientious employee almost always knows when something feels harder than it should. They might not know how to explain it yet, but they feel it. Then the salon feels it too. The grooming takes longer than the schedule allows. The service might not even produce enough revenue for the labor time it requires. The finished dog might even still need some cleanup or adjustment. And then that gets the next appointment to run behind. Again, the dog will get done. But done is not the only measurement. If nobody in leadership knows how to measure grooming pace, quality, safety, or support needs, done, I use that in air quotes, done can start to become the standard by default. This is where some salon operators get stuck. And by stuck, I mean stuck on assumptions. Assumptions that the dog was done safely because it went home without an obvious incident, that the quality is acceptable because the client didn't have an immediate complaint, assumptions that the timing is normal because that's the only pace that they've seen, or that the employee is ready because the program was completed and the appointments are getting finished. And over time, the whole salon can start adjusting to that pace. The schedule kind of gets built around it. A lot of times you'll see clients calling regularly to see if their dog's done yet. And a manager, a non-grooming manager, can start to really think that this must be how long grooming actually takes. And the newer employee believes that that's their normal working pace. But that's probably not a professional pace. It may just be the pace the salon has gotten used to. If you're a salon operator, you may not realize that there's another way to measure it. The dog got done, the client picked up, and the day moved on. If you're a groomer owner, you may know that the pace is off, but you might need to slow down and name where the time is being lost. Either way, done is only a piece of the picture. Not just did the dog get done, but was it done safely and at the quality level we are selling? Was this done in the time that the price supports? We also want to ask, is this the pace we want to build the schedule around? Is this employee ready for this level of work? Or have we just adjusted the business around an unfinished skill set? Those questions help explain why a team can be busy, the calendar's full, and the business is still not moving forward. Here's a part that can really hurt a salon. If an underdeveloped groomer starts training the next person, the salon won't build capacity. It will be duplicating the training gap. That's a hard truth, but it matters now because the issue isn't just one person who's missing hands-on correction. Now the habits are spreading. The next person is going to learn the same slow process and have the same tool handling and pet handling habits. They'll mirror the standards and the timing of the undeveloped groomer. And the finish and lack of rhythm will be repeated. As a salon operator, you might think it's great that you have another person training. But what actually could be happening is the multiplication of unfinished training. And that's how some businesses can keep adding people and still not get ahead. More bodies don't automatically create more production or revenue. And more training content doesn't automatically translate to more competence. The salon needs a middle layer, and that layer is hands-on development. Somebody needs to watch and correct the work. A decision has to be made as to what this person can consistently produce. You need to know what stretches them and what exceeds their current skill set. And a line has to be drawn to know when they're ready to move up to the next level. And without that middle layer, the business is just guessing. And guessing gets expensive. I want to be really clear here. This is not about shaming anyone. A lot of people are coming into the industry through training options available to them, and they may genuinely believe that they're trained because that's what they've been told. If somebody completes a program and gets a certificate, it makes sense that they think they're ready. The problem is when the business treats that certificate like a proof of salon readiness. This is where the different expectations get out of alignment. The employee thinks, hey, I'm trained. And the manager thinks, hey, you're trained and you should be producing. And the owner thinks, hey, why is this costing so much? The dogs are there and they need safe, efficient, skilled work. So instead of blaming the employee, the better question is, where is this person actually developed and where are they only exposed? That question kind of changes everything. They may be exposed to breed trims, but not developed in pattern setting. They could be exposed to safety, but not developed in safe handling. They're exposed to tools, but they may not be developed in correct tool use. And they understand the salon flow, but not developed in that professional pace that we were speaking about. This gives you something more useful to work with. Whether you're a non-groomer salon operator who's still learning how to judge grooming productivity, or a groomer owner who can feel that something is off, but hasn't stopped to measure it yet. They're slow doesn't tell you enough. We need to know where. Are they losing time in prep, or are they unsure with handling? Maybe stopping too much between steps. Are they taking longer because nobody's helped them build an efficient process from start to finish? Are they being scheduled for work that they're maybe not ready to carry yet? So once you name where the work is breaking down, you're not just blaming the employee. You're identifying the part of training that's still unfinished. And that's the part that your salon can start fixing. So here's the reset for this week. Pick one common grooming service. One of those bread and butter appointments that consistently shows up on the schedule, and watch what happens. Not every employee or service, and definitely not the entire salon. Just one person, one of your common services, and one honest look at how that work is moving through the day. It could be a small haircut dog, a doodle trim, bath and tidy, or whatever service shows up again and again in your business. Then look at the real process. I want you to document how long this groom actually takes this employee. Look at how much help or correction, extra direction they regularly need. Does the dog stay settled during the process? Or is the dog getting tired or restless and frustrated? Also, does the finished product match what your salon is supposed to be selling? Keep a lookout for the check-in calls coming from the clients. And ask yourself if it's become part of the normal routine. Does the price support the amount of labor that's actually going into that dog? And that means station prep, active working time, and cleanup. This isn't about hovering over someone, making them nervous. It's about getting honest information. Because if you're a salon operator who doesn't come from behind the table, it's possible you could have accepted the current timing because it's the only timing you've seen. And you might have accepted the current finish because the dog went home and the customer didn't complain. That doesn't mean you failed. It just means you need a way to measure the work instead of assuming the current pace is the standard. And if you're a groomer owner, this audit still matters. For a groomer owner, pace can be intrinsic. This is when you know that the work isn't moving the way it should. But knowing that and being able to measure where the time is being lost are two different things. So when you hire someone who doesn't produce like you get frustrated. You can look at them and think, why is that taking so long? Or why are they redoing that? But unless you stop and break the process down, it's hard to tell whether the problem is prep, handling, confidence, decision-making, order of operations, focus, finish work, or the level of the dog that they were scheduled for. That's why this reset matters for both types of owners. The salon operator, non-groomer, may not know what they're looking at yet. A groomer owner knows something's wrong, but may not have broken your own instinct into something you can measure or teach. So before you add more dogs, hire another person, or buy another training program, look at one common groom and ask the harder question. Have we decided this is the right amount of time because it supports the business? Or have we accepted this amount of time because it's what the employee currently needs? That one audit will tell you more than the full calendar does, because the schedule only tells you the salon is busy. This audit tells you whether the work is actually moving the business forward.